All I have in this world is my balls and my word, and I don't break them for no one. Do you understand?
G'day guys, Chaos Chronicles. All right, so just a quick one. Sorry that I haven't posted for 4 days, but I've been very busy and I actually went away camping. Just needed to get some headspace. But anyway, I am back and we are back into it. And I thought I'd kick it back off with another war story. I know you guys love the war stories, and you know, I always say when I do my war stories, I do not promote any of my behavior at all, and I highly recommend that anybody does not replicate my behavior or exactly like me. You will end up in prison for most of your adult life, and it is not worth it, trust me. All right, so this is a story of a time where I was this close to spending a lot of time in jail. And yeah, so I've got to be very careful what I say here, but I will get us through it. Don't worry about that. And yeah, so this was in my pharmaceutical days, if you know what I'm saying. And yeah, a little bit of moving of that. And so at the time, I actually had two Ford lasers that were exactly the same. They were the same color. They looked exactly the same. They were the same year, everything. And so one of them was out of rego and the other one was broken down. So the 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 one that was running was out of rego, and the one that was broken down had the rego. So in my head, I'm thinking I'll just swap the number plates over, and no one is going to be none the wiser. How often do they check engine numbers and VIN numbers and all this shit? I was like, I'm going to be sweet. I've got to be sweet. And so anyway, I swapped the number plates over, and I needed to go for a fairly big drive to drop off some pharmaceuticals. And so anyway, I actually, the truth of the fact is I'd never had this much in the car, and it was enough to secure a large commercial charge, if you know what I'm saying. And yeah, a lot of time in prison. So I was thinking I've got to change it up a little bit. I've never had this much on me. And so I came up with a pretty good spot. So the seats actually folded all the way down like that, as it was a hatchback. And yeah, so the seats folded all the way down, and I managed to stuff it all along. So when it rolls down, it's got carpet that goes over it, and then so when it goes back up and sits like that, so I managed to stuff it in the lining all the way along like that, and had it sitting up like that, and was a good spot. And so anyway, I continued on my drive, and away I went. And I wasn't thinking nothing of this at all. And you know, I knew that if I get pulled over, the chances are they're not going to, you know, figure out that I have got number plates from a different car on this car, as they were both the same cars. They were both registered to me. And anyway, it proved to be a pretty silly idea. But anyway, I get to my destination, and so I'm actually to the town I'm driving to, I'm talking about. And so I'm trying to take like back streets and stuff like that, so I don't, you know, I'm not on the show if the police are up the main street doing a breatho, you know, driving up the main street. You know, I am public enemy number one. And just because of the way I look sometimes, even if I'm not known in that town, I usually get pulled over if I'm seen driving. And anyway, I was trying to take precautions. And so I was literally probably about maybe under a kilometre away from where I'm going. So I've literally got to do an S-bend. I've got to go take a right-hand turn, go straight for about 400 metres, take a left-hand turn, and then go for about another 200-300 meters. And so anyway, on the right-hand turn, I've come and I've cut the corner a little bit, and wouldn't you know it, there was cops right there, and I literally nearly hit him, and I couldn't believe it. I was like, oh no. And so anyway, I keep driving. They obviously do a U-E, and they light me up. And I'm like, oh no. And so, you know, I, I was doing this kind of thing for a long time and know how to play it cool in these situations. And so anyway, I'm playing it cool in these situations, and this just so happens to be a town where the cops do know me. And so yeah, they come to the window. I'm like, yeah, how you going? What are you doing? And I'm like, oh no, just driving around, like, but actually on my way to see a mate. And they're like, well, you actually nearly hit the front of our car there turning the corner. And I was like, yeah, look, I am sorry about that, but if you ask me, I think the nose of your cop car was parked over the line a little bit. And they weren't having that. They were like, no, there's no way. And so anyway, look, I am sorry. And, if you got to find me or whatever, and they're like, well, we'll see what happens. And so anyway, they start running the plates on this car, and I'm like, oh no, like, I'm freaking out. So anyway, they come back, and they're like, righto, all right, mate, you're sweet to go. Just watch the way you're driving and rah, rah, rah. So one cop's at my door and the other one's sitting in the car. And so I'm literally about to drive off, and like I started to drive, and then toot, 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 the cop starts tooting his horn in the car, and he's like giving him the signs, telling him to, to stop me. And so he stopped me. He's like, stop, mate, stop. And so anyway, the other cops come up to the car, and he's like, so what can you tell me about this car, mate? And I'm like, well, what do you want to know about the car? I'm like, it's a Ford Laser. I've owned it for a little while now. And they're like, can you tell me how come your plates are registered as a sedan, but your car is a hatchback, right? So this is how dumb I was. So one car was a hatchback and one car was just a normal four-door sedan. And like, although the other one was a four-door sedan as well, but it was a hatchback, and I literally nearly like made it. I was literally driving off, and they're like, stop. And so, he's like, righto, mate, just wait there for a second. So they've gone back to the car, and I'm like, they're definitely going to search the car. They're definitely going to search it. And so anyway, they're like, righto, mate, you're actually detained at the moment for the purposes of searching your car. And I'm like, why would you search my car? I'm not consenting to a search. And they're like, we don't need your consent to search your car. You're driving an unregistered motor vehicle with number plates from another motor vehicle on it. We are searching this car, checking this car to see if it's stolen and to see if you've got anything in the car that you shouldn't have. And so, like, there was literally nothing I could do. It was pitch black darkness at the time. There was a high school right across the road from me. I'm like, oh my God, I could literally just run off. They're both searching the car. I'd literally thought about running off, and I'm like, no, it's not worth it, And so I'm sitting there, and these guys are literally going hard. They're pulling everything out of my car. They're moving the seats forward, back. They're going right in between the seats, everything, And so what I had was literally just under the carpet. When you push the seats down, if they had something, maybe they're batting to you to push it out, they would have found it. And I'm standing there watching them literally run their hands over it, and I'm like, oh my God. And keep in mind, like I told you guys at the start, I had enough in there to get done for large commercial, which is a lot of jail time and pharmaceuticals. And so anyway, they're searching, and like, this is going on for ages. It was almost like someone had said something to them, because they were just searching and searching and searching. Like, this search went on for like 40 minutes, and I was like, my God. And like, I'm standing there saying, like, what are you expecting to find in my car? There is nothing in there. And they're like, well, we'll be the judge of that. And so anyway, like, a 40-minute search is ensued, and yeah, they were like, we believe that you have got something in that car, but we just can't find it. You are not to drive that car. And they went bang, 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 took my number plates off, and they were like, where are you going? And I told them a fake address of where I was, what street I was going to. I was literally, by the time they had pulled me up, I was literally only maybe 200 meters from my destination, you know. And like I said, there was a high school right there. I'd thought about running, but I didn't run. And anyway, they were like, yeah, we think that you've got something, but we just can't find it. You're not to drive this car. We're going to be circling back, you know. And so anyway, I took off into the high school, and they could not see me. It was pitch black. They sat there for ages, like 10 minutes, and then they drove off. And I knew that they were going to be doing circles and doubling back and this and that. And so anyway, I sat there for about probably half an hour, another 40 minutes, and they literally were driving past that car every 5 to 10 minutes to wait and see if I was going to do an event. So I was like, God, what am I going to do? And so anyway, I literally sat there and waited for the cops to stop driving. And, you know, that was probably another 40 minutes to an hour. And then I actually walked to where I was going, and I said to my mate, look, bang, here's a few $100. If you drive my car, there is something in it. And he's like, yeah, sweet. And I was like, how much money do you want? He's like, a few $100. I said, yeah, sweet, here it is. And so anyway, yeah, he went and picked up my car, and I literally got away with it. And still to this day, I sit there and think, my God, I would probably still be in jail now. I'm not going to lie. And yeah, so yeah, that was a very, very, very close one, and I managed to get away with that one, and which leaves me to say, guys, that, you know, it's just not worth it. It's just not worth the amount of jail time that you are gonna do for the amount of money that you're making. Do you know what I mean? Because at the time, when you go to jail, it doesn't matter about the money. The only thing that your money is going to do for you when you are locked up is get you a good lawyer, you know. Other than that, oh, I mean, yeah, you can get days out, and you can buy drugs and this and that, and fill people's accounts and get more, you know, buy ups and stuff like that. But you know, at the end of the day, there is no comparison to the pros and cons. You know, yes, the money's good, the the materialistic things are good, but at the end of the day, everything about that life is fake. Do you know what I mean? Like, it's just a fake. And, you know, all your friends are fake because they want money and this and that, and you know, they all want something off you because you're balling it and you're doing good. They you know, and it's fake friends, and it's just a fake life. And it doesn't even matter how high up the totem pole you go, even bike clubs and that. This day and age, mate, there is no such thing as brotherhoods, or as there is no such thing as joining for the brotherhood in a bike club, should I say. Correction. There is brotherhoods, and there still are bikies that live for that brotherhood. Do not get me wrong. But the majority of it these days are all there for money, and that should be the only reason you join a bike club, is for the money. Because if you're joining for the brotherhood, it's just not there the way it should be. Do you know what I mean? And that life is just fake bullshit fucking life. Do you know what I mean? And, you know, the amount of jail time I would have done for what I got caught with is absolutely crazy. And it's just not worth it. But I will say that absolutely, you know, when I'm talking about these things, I'm obviously talking about alleged offences or fictional offences. So, yeah. it's just not worth it, guys. And yeah, like I've been saying for a few months now, put the bag down and pick up your kids. And basically what that means is, put the drugs down and pick up your kids. Go back to your family, be a family man, start working, get a job. Trust me, you will be earning, you will be working hard for that money. So everything that you earn, you've got such more appreciation for it. Like I just had zero, zero, zero appreciation for materialistic things. I remember we went camping once, and I just bought a new car, V8, rah rah rah, and yeah, I was doing donuts and rah rah rah, and I actually melted the transmission cable, and so anyway, that car got peppered, and if you know what I'm saying, it got peppered, and I just filled that car full of holes, and I literally just paid like $19,000 for it, and didn't even care. And like, yeah, those materialistic things can be good, and some of them are good. Don't get me wrong; it's good having a nice car, this and that. But that life, that you can have a nice car, you can have every single one of them things that you had when you were dealing drugs, being a criminal, when you are working, and that's the truth of it. You can get a credit rating and start getting loans for things, and live the Australian dream, buy a house, this and that. There is no life in being a criminal, because you are just going to be spending the majority of your life in and out of prison. And if you are a criminal, and I say this a lot, and you've been doing crime for years and you haven't been going to jail, you're a snitch. It's just straight up. That's the truth. You're a snitch. You're talking to the police. There is no way you can operate as a full time career criminal doing what you're doing be and not knowing with the cops. Yeah, there you can get away with things and this and that, but you're getting away with things doesn't mean that you are not out in the open for the police to know what's going on. Like, trust me, you cannot do crime for years and years and years and not get in trouble by the police. If you do, you are a snitch, straight up. And that's all I've got to say about that. Or you have the police working for you, and there's a fine line there between being not a snitch and having the police working for you. You know what I mean? So yeah, it's just not worth it, guys, and it's just not worth it. And put down the bag, pick up your kids, work for your spoils, guys. And trust me, I done 20 years of hardcore crime, and I have nothing to show for it. Nothing, absolutely nothing. And yeah, I actually have more things in my life now that I've been doing things legitimately. And like I said, you appreciate them more. And yeah. Anyway, guys, this has been the Chaos Chronicles. You guys have been absolutely awesome. But yeah, never fear, guys. If I haven't posted for a few days, I am not going anywhere. So don't you guys stress. I will always be here posting. And yeah, just a heads up. Once my new camera arrives, I have got, so stay tuned. Watch this space. We have got some big things happening here on the Chaos Chronicles. My God, I forgot my own name. But yeah, anyway, guys, in saying that, smash a comment there, guys. I've been replying to comments with videos. So your questions that you have about crime, gangs, bike clubs, jail, this and that, smash a question there, and I will try and answer it with a video. I've been answering a lot of them, which reminds me, you know what I mean, guys? I have this book here, which is just pages and pages and pages of ideas of. So anyway, that is that thick. So this side of so they are videos that I haven't posted yet. So the videos that I'm replying, the comments that I'm replying with a video, I just smash them there in my book, and then I answer them with a video. So never fear, guys. We have got miles and miles and miles of content. That's just answered questions. Plus, we've still got all my life stories, my war stories, which you guys I know you guys love, but I always have to say I do not promote anything that I do. And absolutely, if you want to do good in your life, you do the absolute opposite of what I did in my younger days. And that's about as real as it is, guys. And yeah, all right, guys. I'm the Chaos Chronicles.
I am also the guy who decides if you and your friends walk out of here or not.